What's up, guys? It's Get Ready to Battle. Welcome back to Terraformental. This is part two of playing through this game because it's a long game. On the last episode, we did some things. In fact, go watch that last episode. This other because I will not be explaining things I already explained, and I will be editing around doing certain things. We're just gonna go faster through it. I'm also gonna hope nothing new got added. Otherwise, like, oh look, repair upper floor. I'm gonna hope that was already there. But yeah, Terraformental is a. I don't need to explain it. I already explained it. It feels weird. It's part two, but we've already done it. So let's just get started until the next new content shows up, which might be something neat. Also, not sure if I mentioned, but when we got the artifact, I'm not sure if that was the most recent run or if that was a run before that, before getting annihilated, our our loot has gone up, which we saw previously, but it has weird numbers like 3.125, which is kind of funny. Yeah, just little neat things like that. So water gets more. It doesn't let me drink it. Yeah, it's a side effect of the loot being stronger now is that it doesn't line up 1 to 1. Like, yeah, I can't drink two water balls and have them be lined up because as we see, there's this much of a difference between the two. So yeah. Also, current game time is 3 hours 17 minutes, or about like 3 hours 15 minutes at the start of this video. So we can use that to compare how long it would take for you to play. I think I didn't say this in the. You know what, I'll save this for the ending bit. Okay, if I remember correctly, after leaving the rover, we can find a route to the dam directly from here. Now the problem is we don't have enough power to actually get there. We have to go. We just won't have enough power because it takes 2 power per second for 4 minutes. 4 minutes is 240 seconds. Times 2 is 480. We have a max of 400. That's just not possible. We just physically can't take this. At least right now. What we can do is we can go to the Lost Rover, get those energy cells, put them in the vehicle, charge up at at Lorion, to bring it up to 600, get here with, I don't know how much, like missing 30 or so power, and then take this to, and then, once we do that, now we have found the route. We won't need to find it again. Also, a thing I didn't point out, here Centenori is destroyed. Since we got destroyed in the last run, we know of when it gets destroyed. So we can know about that ahead of time. That's funny. Or at least I think it's funny. It's not, sorry, not funny. It's good to know, it's useful. Oh, you also read the lore. Each loop, the entire facility, and a significant portion of the surrounding area is completely destroyed by a wave of energy. Best not to be nearby when it happens. Oh yeah, maybe just be nearby, it's funny. Okay, we've gotten the loot from both the Lost Rover, as the fact we don't have the shortcut, and outside. So we have all these ration packs, we have food, we have air, and we've already used some power, but we're installing the generator, which I'm not sure if I said there was a move task. Honestly, it's been a while since I recorded it. I'm recording this one after the other one's already been released, and I recorded the other one weeks before. But then we'll be able to power up, and we'll also be able to put the water recycler into the rover. You know, in case that comes up, it doesn't use power, which is a very nice feature. I'm worried because it seems like they're thinking of having that happen in the next version, and I'm worried about that. Also, I will make a video about the new version. Or I will make a video of the new version, which is going through and trying to show only the new things, as in things that I think are new. But for now, let's go get the rover charged up. Okay, we're all topped up at the place. All topped up at Loron. We have 600 power, which should be enough. But we can still just depart going the normal way, the way we went last time. But I don't want to. I want to be able to go direct from... I want to be able to go direct from Talos to here. Because I enjoy that way more. For some reason, I'm mentally thinking that's faster, even though when I was playtesting this, I kept going to here, getting charged up, and then leaving again, which is not faster. At that point, just go here. But this way, we won't even need to come here. We can go directly to it, bypassing all the delay that we could have. Okay, now it's time to find the route to the dam. It will take a while to work out a decent route directly to the dam from here, and require a lot of power in one go, but it may help to reach Satori faster in the long run. It may help, so that's good enough for me. Let's wait 4 minutes to do it. And here we are at the dam. We have arrived here, but it is still like minutes ahead of time, like about 4 or so, so we have to close the dam. Now we have comm codes for the dam. You can send it to the command to close and let it cross for you. Now we can cross the river. We can also still drive back to Talos, but we're not doing that. It's a long way back to Talos. Maybe you have reason to go back there someday. Or should that be some loop? Satori rides on the other side of the river and over a few hills. And maybe more than a few. Oh yeah, also. Oh, I didn't even read these parts. It takes a lot of estimation, not to mention trial and error, but eventually you find a reliable route from Talos. Here, let's do. Wait, if you read the maps correctly, you should get your first view of Satori from the top of the steep hill. I think I said before. But it takes a lot of estimation, not to mention trial and error. But eventually you find a reliable route from Talos across the desert and through the rocky region to the Satori Dam. It will be faster to take this route in the future if you're heading to that direction, without having to go via Lorion. Then we send a signal to close the dam and watch with satisfaction as the water level slowly lowers until the crossing becomes visible. Now, as you reach the top of the hill, you're finally able to see Satori in the distance. It looks very different from the stations you've been to before. It lacks the surrounding support structures, but seems to consist of several medium-sized compounds spread over a large area, connected by large cables and pipes. It'll take you a while to get there, but for now the path runs along the top of the ridge, allowing you to keep Satori in view. We're gonna run out of power again. It's just too long. It takes too long. This time I think we're progressing further than we did last, but still too long. Luckily now we will save a lot of power, but I think we're gonna do exactly this again. But we're not gonna immediately die. We're gonna use this power, and we're going to die, come back, and then get back to the dam, doing just exactly what I did, but again. Look, we have 4 more minutes. If only we had 4 more minutes of power. Unfortunately, we don't. So that's it rolls to a halt, and it knows you're good as dead. The only main decision is to whether or not to wait for the end. We're gonna loop now. Loop now. Are you sure you want to reset the time loop now? A pre-loop save will be made, but any other autosaves may be overwritten. We ain't saving anything. We're going straight in, baby. Woo! Also, I don't think I said, but the thing of when you drink water changes. As you quickly down the bottle of water, you find yourself focused on Santorini. If you can get there faster, you'll have more time to explore before it's destroyed again. Maybe you can even find a way to prevent it from happening. Who knows? It's a mystery! Let's go to that dam and figure out what's going on. Okay, actually, before the dam, I'm gonna mention driving to the dam. Let's drive to the dam. Now that you've fixed the best route in your mind, this should save you both time and power, as long as you don't need anything from Lorion. Ignore the fact we're going to Lorion to come back here. But noticeably, this instead of draining 2 power per second, drains 1.5, a 25% saving, and only takes 3 minutes compared to 4 minutes, which is another 25% saving. Just getting 2 different deals. We drove the total energy power needed from 480 down to 270, so we could do it without ever going to Loron. But if you notice there, the difference is 210. Going this way, we gain about 200, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but about 200. I mean, because it's 200 raw, and then the driving to this point, which I think is actually still a bit less. Which means it's actually worse. No, it's not worse. But 200 is a large amount. So maybe even driving here directly, and driving from Loron to there, can be about the same amount due to just the power consumption. As in, if you went the repeater roads, and we didn't make it, we still had another minute we needed to drive, so we need the extra 200 power. Once we finish that, then we can go to the dam. Speaking of which, let's go to the dam now, or maybe for real this time. Okay, here we are at the dam, and also I forgot about this. We can close the dam and close it as a sub-action, thus it's faster than normal. So that's cool to see. We just immediately do both at the same time to go faster through it. Also, we still have 7 minutes left. So we saved time, but then again, we did save an entire minute off the plan. We have enough resources that we're going to outlast the explosion. We're gonna die in the explosion, not from anything else. And look, instead of like here, it goes all the way to here. We can definitely live the extra 1 minute. Let's get to the end of the ridge first before coming back. The hill moves in a wide arc towards the facility in the distance. What is actually at the facility, you may ask? Well, here's what it is. Driving along the top of the hill, you remain focused on the base. Steadily drawing closer, you're able to make out more details. One of the compounds sits on the plateau above the others with no direct path to it. The second spans the width of a slope down into what looks like a quarry. Compound. While the final one lies between the two, and it looks like it could be some kind of barracks. Ooh. I believe that's the barracks one. Just as you reach the end of the ridge and the path begins to slope down for the final approach, you realize one of the narrow connections between the compounds is actually a tram line. So yeah, there's tram lines. So now we can either go to the quarry compound or the central compound. Quarry says, both of them are 1 power, 20 second. I think funny enough, one of my runs, yeah, I'll say in the next section. The compound spanning the quarry entrance looks like it's mostly a repair and control area for vehicles. We're fine. We don't need it. Central compound. The compound which lies between the other two looks like it could be some kind of living quarters or barracks type building. Let's go here. Yoink. Now, drawing closer to the central compound, it becomes obvious that this is a barracks. The main living quarters and offices for all the people who lived in Santorini. I'm calling it Sands because that's funny. calling this place Sands. That's good enough. The vehicle bay is quite modest after the ones at Talos and Loyon, designed only for a handful of rovers and 1 or 2 scouting aircraft, compared to their several dozen. Since you know everyone evacuated though, there should be plenty of room for your rover in there. The only other feature of note is a small tram station on one side of the compound, but it seems designated to be accessed from inside. So you can just walk in. Now, open vehicle bay. Assuming you can actually open the vehicle bay, it's the fastest and easiest way to enter the facility. Oh god, is it going to work like how the other one didn't work? Whoa, it worked. Crazy. Okay. Given your previous luck in such matters, you're pleasantly surprised when the rover easily connects to Centenary's systems, and the vehicle bay door slides smoothly open to allow you access. Whatever other issues this station may be suffering from, lack of power doesn't seem to be one of them. And then park rover. Funny enough, we're about to go inside from parking the rover, where parking the rover will allow you to explore the compound or just to recharge if that's all you need, as it says here. But, funny enough, if you run out of power right here, you are dead. You do not get a chance to go anywhere else. I don't care that you could walk in from here. You are fucked. It's a funny little thing. I think it's funny. It did cause me a lose around, but I was like, okay, well, another 20 minutes of playing this while watching a YouTube video, such as what you may be doing right now. All hail second screen content. Okay, let's enter the park. Okay, and now we have multiple tasks, which I'm not gonna get any start. You know what? We can get some started. Let's get this one started. Why not? Okay. The bay is the emptiest you've seen yet, without a single other vehicle in sight. Even all the tools, spare parts, and equipment that typically littered the work surfaces in such areas seem to have been either tidied away or taken during the evacuation. One sectioned off side of the bay is likely the workshop, while the door to the rest of the barracks stands open. At the other end of the bay is another door which you suspect must lead to the tram station you saw from outside. So we can see the workshop, we can see the barracks, we can see the tram station. That's what these 3 are. Also, we can connect rover charger. Also, here's this power. We get -10 from no variations, 100% from power source, period. No clue. No clue how to make that anything other than 100, I'll be honest. Now we can either, let's do this. We can either explore the workshop. A new workshop is an opportunity to find new tools and materials. We can explore barracks. The majority of the compound will likely be living quarters and amenities for the crew, so this is where you're most likely to find supplies, or explore train station. Sooner or later, you'll need to use the trams to reach the 3rd compound. Now from this, we also do have access. No, wait, sorry, I'm confused. Okay, let's open the barracks. Woo, new things. Okay, as you predicted, most of the building is taken up by bedrooms, a communal mess hall, and bathrooms. Just do beep beep. I'm just gonna ignore what's going on. Okay. Bathrooms and a small suite of offices. A few things catch your eye during your tour, though. First is the expected administrator's office, locked as always. The neighboring office, however, is not locked, and seems to be set up like a design lab for developing new equipment. Finally, the water recycler and food synthesizers in the mess hall, which, from your brief inspection, actually seem to be fully functional. So, yay, we get to fill up, we get to make food and water, like back in back in Talos. Yay! Okay, funny enough, this has a new countdown, which I think is funny. Okay, one of the bedrooms does contain a bookshelf holding dozens... Let's make sure something... Huh, we're not doing that then. Finally, the water cycle does. One of the bedrooms does contain a bookshelf holding dozens of journals, which look similar to Murray's diary you read at Loron. Now we have a few new tasks. We can synthesize food. This synthesizer is in good condition. As long as the power keeps coming in, it will keep you stocked with food for a long time. Okay, well, it's in good condition. As long as the power keeps in, it will keep stuff for a long time. And then we have plenty of power. I dropped something on the ground. We have fill water bottle. The water recycler seems to be running well, and is much more efficient than the one you found in Loron, as it's not designed to be mobile, which is nice. And then we also have a still connected charger. If you connect the rover to the power systems, it'll start recharging from Stitcher's main power system. I forgot to say. Explore workshop. And then we have the office admin door. We can force it, where you're getting annoyed by these doors. Taking your frustration out on them always helps. I disagree. Or hack the automatic source. Another admin office. Another password to crack. We wouldn't have enough time to do anything else if I did that. I didn't actually finish the task, so I abandoned that one. Also, it might be multitasking, saving real life time by opening these while we play. Let's explore design lab. If this is where the new vehicle designs and upgrades were being worked on, then there must be something you can use. Let's explore the workshop. Okay, then we have these, which yoink, yoink. There we go. Okay, you quickly realize that this room is far more than just a workshop. It's built more like a miniature construction line, with several rovers in varying states of completion. This might even be where every rover was originally built, before being sent out to the individual facilities. Along with one wall is a series of blueprints detailing every major system, as well as a few optional modules, which can be swapped out depending on the intended use. That's cool. Anyways, let's explore the tram station. Here we either can expect incomplete rovers, where the assembly bay has several partially built rovers, which might have some useful components you can take, or we can inspect blueprints. One wall of the assembly bay is covered in rover blueprints. Maybe you can learn something about how they're constructed. Let's explore the tram station. Beep. Okay, the tram station seems pretty standard. A small waiting area with a few seats, windows overlooking the tracks, a set of doors that presumably only open when the tram is here, which it currently is not, and a basic terminal for calling the tram. There's also a cargo unloading area, but it seems quite small, only intended for shipments of supplies, components, or equipment. Unfortunate. Oh well, let's call the tram. It seems simple enough to summon the tram, and it should be able to take you to the other compounds. That's good. Gonna be good to know. And here we are. Nothing happens. Okay, you try summoning the tram, but it stubbornly refuses. According to the error it displays, hey look, it's red, it's an error. The tram is currently at the Astrape facility. T-R-A-B. Astrape. Okay, anyways. As it is somehow blocked from leaving. Seems like you have to drive there in your rover if you want to use the tram. Next time you're near Loron, it might also be worth seeing if it has any information on this new facility. If you remember from Loron, they have a lot of info, but a lot of it's useless info. So you have to look up what you actually want to see. So now we have a new thing we could see. We can learn about Astrape. Let's now explore the design lab where things be. Oh, yeah, also called the tram. Locked. Can't be performed because the tram is still stuck at Astrape. Seems simple enough to come. Okay. Let's explore the design lab. Beep. As you begin poking around the design lab, it quickly becomes apparent that most of the science described by the various diagrams and equations is going way over your head. One set of sketches does catch your eye though. It looks like an image of a rover's motor with a few key changes. If you understand the notes correctly, then it could increase the speed and efficiency of the motors, in theory. It seems to be incomplete though. Maybe you can find some indication on the computers of where the rest of the schematics are, if they exist at all. So we can inspect there. Oh, we're not gonna have enough time to finish that this life. Oh, I can do this. Neat. Let's inspect the blueprints. Let's inspect this wall of blueprints. Beep. Many of the schematics lining their Many schematics lining the wall are covering the basic systems, which you already have a good working knowledge of. Many more are far too complex for you. To do you much good. One of the few which does catch your eye is regarding solar panels mounted on the roof. You'll need to find a set of solar panels, an extra power coupler, and some metal to mount it all on the rover. But it doesn't seem too complex of a task. And look, oh god, we're gonna die in 27 seconds. Anyways, we're gonna die sooner than that. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to finish early enough to talk these. That's why I've been pre-doing them. Now, luckily, we can spend a lot of 2 seconds reading this. Unfortunately, most of the partially assembled rovers are little more than the chassis, parts of the hull, and some of the primary functions. There are a number of spare motors and power couplers you could take, but nothing more. Only the final one has anything of greater interest. It has a water recycler fitted with a quick cycling filter. You could install it in your rover if there's space, or just take the filter to upgrade the speed of your own. So we can install the filter. Taking 10 seconds. Funny enough, we do have infinite water, because a water bottle, a water takes 35 seconds to make a new one, but it gives me 37.5 seconds of water. So we make seconds every single time we drink water. So we don't even need this, which I think is funny. But I mean, why not? I'm not going to do it this life because we don't need to. Instead, let's just hack the doors and totally nothing bad will happen. It's not like everything's going to blow up. Everything blew up. An immense burst of energy ripples out from where Satori once stood, vaporizing all matter in its path. You don't even feel anything. In an instant, you simply cease to exist. You vaporize along with Satori after 21:22. Now, here's the question for people who, because is there like a delay between dying and waking up, or do you immediately wake up and start going? Does he realize that he died, or is it suddenly like, oh god, a jump scare, I'm alive again, as if it was like a very weird dream? I wonder if in the lore, probably not in the lore, but I wonder if in general he's had a dream of waking up doing something different, and then dying, and then he wakes up for real. So he has a dream of going through another additional loop. So like by the end he's done 35, but he thinks he's done 36, with one just not making any sense, which I think would be funny. Okay, anyways, let's go back to the compound. Okay, actually, a little bit before I came back, something that I noticed I don't think I noticed before. It says of gather thing, description, but then it also has what it grants, which is this combined task, including everything that it grants, which I think is pretty neat. I didn't realize that until now. Okay, two things. One, as you see, there's a bunch of one messages that show up in this chat that just happen every time, so I kind of ignore them until I realized the second one. As you quickly down the bottle, you find your mind somewhat divided for the first time in a while. There's probably still more for you to achieve at Centenary, but perhaps reaching Astrape is the best way to achieve it. Then again, since you have to go through one to reach the other, it's somewhat of a moot point for now. I think is interesting. And then also search for Astrape, which we got to the admin to eat some protein bars. We can search. Centenary is close to a facility named Astrape. It may be helpful to learn more about it before you go. The reason I say it now instead of when it's almost done, like I've been doing, is because I believe this is one of the tasks that gives messages as you complete it instead of only at the end. Such as, okay, no, I guess I was wrong. Oh, yes, it is. According to the logs, Astrape is essentially a huge power generator. During the terraforming process, it would be responsible for powering the mining and manufacturing operations at the, relatively, nearby Sanctuary facility, but that would only use up a fraction of its eventual intended output. The consistent wait, ignore that one. The generator wasn't scheduled to become fully operational until after terraforming was complete. By then, an entire facility would have been constructed around it, the first one to be filled with colonists. Each of the other facilities would become the power plant for a smaller colony. Astrape would be the crown jewel of the planet. New York City, Cosmo aliens, who knows? Unfortunately, these records seem to be heavily scrambled after a point. Judging by the timestamps, it happened shortly before the evacuees turned up at Centenary. Whatever the cause, it was obviously dangerous and could still be happening. You should be cautious when you reach Astrape. That would be very good to know. Let's head over to the terminals now. Not terminals. Compounds. Okay, we are now back at the choice of between the two compounds. We're still choosing the same one that we did before. Here we don't even need to open it. We can just go directly to it. Neat. I thought the open thing would be another button, but no, we can just immediately park. Sweet. And now here we are with all these options. And let's do The one that makes me water, and then let's hack into the office and learn about what's inside. Actually, maybe we do both. Let me do them. Okay, about to do these, and I realized I got a message. All the actual research on the computers is heavily encrypted, far too heavily for you to have any hope of accessing. Even the messages sent between engineers here and elsewhere are locked up tighter than any other system you acquired. So I'm assuming it's this one. Just about the only information of any use to you. Of any use you can access is where they're communicating with, and the large majority it seems to be from a facility called Strabo. Maybe you could search more information about it in the Loron computers. But, let's hack into the admin office. Let's be in the admin office. Also, look, we got protein bars. The office revealed by the door as it slides open is exactly how you would expect. The desk, the chairs, the computer terminal, and, of course, the box of protein bars. However, you were caught off guard by half the bars being missing. Apparently, this administrator actually enjoyed eating them. And we can inspect the computer. If there's any other facilities nearby, the computer terminal is probably your best bet of finding them. It can take 40 seconds, though. And it is protein bars. Whoever it was that decided every administrator should have a box of protein bars was a genius. Though you do wish this particular one hadn't actually eaten them. Now this one is halfway done. Gets much like Lawrence computers, this terminal is mostly filled with countless dull logs and reports detailing the daily workings of the facility. This makes it difficult to find much of actual use. You do notice asteroid being mentioned quite often, which is hardly surprising since the trams link to there. They link to there. Well, you still need to find a way to get there and hopefully get the tram unstuck. Yeah, let's hope we get it unstuck. But it's also... Okay, Eventually, you'll give up trying to sort through all the data and just skip to the most recent files. Quite a few of them refer to the artifact they found, and are likely worth going through in more detail. Now we can watch the artifact logs. Several of the recent logs refer to the artifact they found. Maybe they'll give you a better idea of where it's ended up. I like how the description in here doesn't refer to videos. It just refers to, like, as if they're text, but this one's videos. That's neat. Oh, also, the first few logs cover things you... I forgot I was gonna die. Whoops. Okay, either way. The first few logs cover things you already knew. That they discovered an artifact, detected steadily increasing power levels inside, so they believed it was a generator, and tried to extract from it. I thought that would be like a ABC sort of comma. Not a thing. Okay, either way. I'm gonna try something different this life. Let's see if I can go directly from here to there without stopping at Loron and getting a power fill. Time to try it. Okay, something also. As you quickly down the bottle, you find yourself a turn. There's probably still more to achieve soon. Perhaps the R-shape is the best way to achieve it. And now you've also learned about Strabo. All three routes are likely worth pursuing, but which is the most promising right now? Who knows? Oh look, we have another combined task. We're driving up the hill and driving all the way there. except, except it's just like a combined one where one of them takes so much longer. It's kind of funny. Like, individually, this one, 115. Total, 116. Because you get the extra time combined with it being quick. That's pretty funny. Okay, here we are back. We have plenty of power, so we'll be fine for continuing to do this. I thought we'd be much closer to the edge, but we are not. We are fine. In fact, we can now, since we didn't stop by, we don't have a water recycler, so we didn't even put the power generator, so we can directly install the water recycler. And I just realized there's no actual long-term task. Oh wait, there is a long-term task, just hidden back here. But we're gonna have infinite water too. Yay! Let's get some stuff set up. Okay, so it's been so long that I forgot about what kind of food and drink they bring. I did not realize that it was the basic food, so I ate all my food that wasn't the basic food. And then now I have basic food already left. So I have less food for when I leave, which means I'm probably not going to have enough food for the long term, which is unfortunate. Look, I have infinite water while I'm here, but I won't have infinite food, which is an issue. Oh well. This isn't the final round. Anyway, watch artifact logs. Things get interesting when they start becoming concerned about the power increases, though. Since they believed it would eventually destabilize and explode, they tried to find a way to minimize the damage. Luckily, they had a storage facility specifically designed for dangerous material. Centauri's processing compound was supposed to store all kinds of raw and processed material, including radioactive ones. Apparently, the administrator ordered the artifact to be sealed in the uranium vault, with the highest level of security in place to ensure no one else disturbed it. Assuming they're referring to the compound you saw on the plateau, the tram might be the only way to reach it. Okay, so we need to get the tram. We just need 100% to get the tram. Also, we charge up the rover because we can. We just got the rover charged up. Now we're ready to leave. We're not ready. It's gonna be in a second, but still. And let's get a little bit more food. And by a little, I mean a lot more food because I'm out of food. And that's probably good enough. Now let's go check out the quarry. Check out the quarry. The compound spanning the quarry entrance looks like it's mostly a repair and control area for vehicles. But it doesn't mean there isn't anything useful there, so let's go there and check out if there's anything useful. God, I'm running out of water. I should have forcibly had one. It's fine, I have water here. See, look, the -10 cooldown for quick cycling filter, which means it only takes 25 seconds for us to get 37.5 seconds of water. Which is funny. Oh god, this is a large thing. Okay, I forgot. Let me do beep. The majority of the compound covering the entrance to the quarry turns out to be open space. A short wall surrounds the compound, while the inside is divided into numerous large areas by rough markings on the ground. The only exceptions are two spaces at the end, which have scaffolding and tools set up around them. You realize it must be a parking and maintenance area for large vehicles. Most likely the sorted mining machines you've started to occasionally spot over the rim of the quarry. The only other buildings in this compound are a lone control tower which overlooks the quarry with a large tram cargo station connected to its base. The tracks continue out the other side, heading further north towards the highlands, presumably towards Astrape. So we could follow the tracks towards Astrape. 30 seconds. Definitely not going to be there yet, but you know. So now, let's leave the rover. Here we are. We are outside the rover. We are in the air. We can explore the server space. We can enter the control tower. We can return to rover. Let's explore the server space. You know, we got how much food? A few minutes? Sure. We got plenty. Yeah, let's do this. Explore server space. The equipment and scaffolding built around two of the parking spaces may prove useful. You know, who knows? Let's go check to see if it proves useful. Okay. Despite their small size relative to a full vehicle bay, the service bays are a very efficient design and are fully equipped for disassembling, repairing, and reassembling any vehicle up to and including the huge automated mining machines moving around in the quarry below you. Among the tools you find a stash of fuel cells. Some of the vehicles must run off them. Both bays currently stand empty, but if you could find a way to bring one of the machines back here, then you could easily access and remove any components you wanted. We can get some fuel cells. There are several fuel cells stashed in one of the service bays, presumably to be used by some of the vehicles in the quarry below. Neat, let's enter the control tower. A tower with an observation deck at the top overlooks the quarry. Enter, and then ooh, that's a bunch to explore. The tower's airlock releases you into a locker room. Assorted storage units line the walls, and benches run down the center like this with RE instead of E. Weird. One door at the far end is labeled as a staircase to the control room at the top, while another door to the side seems to lead to the tram station. So let's explore like all of them, everything here. Let's explore the locker room first. Okay, the lockers were clearly used by the staff for storing their lunch, as there are supplies in many of them. However, it's the suits which really interest you. All this time, you've been wearing an emergency suit intended only for short-term usage under dire conditions. It served you well enough, but these are proper spacesuits, stronger, better insulated, and, perhaps best of all, fitted with a larger air and water reserves. Hopefully, there's one in your size. Air and water's not the problem right now; it's food. But what we can do is take the food that's here. We can take these ration packs and just store them. I now have ration packs. I'm increasing how much water I have. How much food I have. In fact, let's also steal the water pouches because I can. Anything helps. Yeah, it's slightly above. Yeah, it is. So now let's explore the tram station. One of the locker room leads to the passenger portion of the tram station. Beep. Now we can call the tram. Compared to the station you saw at the central compound, this station has a much smaller and simpler passenger section, but a far larger cargo section. Clearly, it's primarily designed for picking up the huge quantities of ore and materials mined out from the quarry and transporting it elsewhere. Several consoles seem to provide diagnostics and limited control over the automated cargo loading systems, while a lone console at the passenger end is provided for summoning the tram, and then call the tram. While it's possible that you are unable to call the tram from the central station due to a computer issue rather than a blockage, you're not really surprised when it falls from here with the same error. It fails from here with the same error. So now let's search the control room. Beep. Okay, the upper floor of the tower is wider than the base, and features a wide array of windows overlooking the quarry below. Banks of terminals fill most of the room, each one showing assorted views from the cameras of the mining machines. This allowed the viewer to take manual control if needed for investigating unusual scanner readings, or digging out urgently required materials. You should be able to use them to recall one of the machines back to the service base. Once there, you could easily dismantle almost any part of it for your own uses. And so, let's recall, and then maybe from the control room, you can order one of the mining machines in the quarry to return to the service bay so you can get a closer look at it. So let's force them to go back home. Let's force them to be explored by us. Okay, at your command, the huge vehicle slowly makes its way back out of the quarry, coming to a rest safely inside one of your service bays. The bay reacts to its presence, extending struts and braces to allow better access to the machine. You should head back outside and take a closer look when you have the time, which we can do right after we get into the spacesuit and then exit the tower. And now we're now in the bay. You managed to find a suit which is your size. Quickly stripping off your emergency suit, you change into the space suit, making sure to carefully transfer the air and water into the new one. Now we have air instead of 15 is 25, and the water instead of 10 is 15, which is nice, but could be better. Now we can inspect the mining machine. Judging by the speed of the ones you can see in the quarry, it won't be useful for transport so long as your rover keeps working. Maybe it has some useful components. Okay, the immense digger is built on on such a different scale to your rover, for such different purposes. I mean, purpose that most of the components would be woefully incompatible. The only thing which catch your eye are the motors. They're far more powerful than your rovers, designed for moving much heavier loads. Now, let's inspect them. The motors on the mine machine must be a lot more powerful than the ones on your rover. If they fit, then they might give you a speed boost. So, let's do it. We can maybe, in like 5 seconds sway, get a speed boost. Who knows? Let's figure out how to use it. They're definitely larger than the current ones, but with the right tools, you could easily cut a few holes to fit them in. Then again, you need some extra metal to reseal the holes afterwards. If you can, such as, oh, I don't know, the ones back at the place, haha. If you can fit them, they'll give you a plenty hefty speed boost at the cost of draining power several times faster. Even if you picked up the extra cells from the lost rover at Loron and had a full charge, it wouldn't keep these beasts running for long. Man, if only we had a generator or something that we could put on. Into the rover. Let's just follow the tracks, let's see where we go. In the... How long ago life? Not much longer alive? Okay, now that we've done the first part. At first, the tracks cut a wide, flat area through the highlands, allowing you a fairly easy passage. But up ahead, you can see the path getting narrower and more rocky. And we're following tracks to Astrape. The tram tracks continue winding through the highlands toward Astrape. This is a 3-minute task. How long do we have to live? Not 3 minutes, that's how much. Let's go quickly die, I guess. And then come back alive. And now we are dead. But this time we're gonna have food. It's a long way from Satori to Astrape. Loading up with supplies may not be enough for this one. You may need more of a boost. To give you an idea, you could do it. I'm gonna just keep driving and see if it works. Okay, while I'm still at Talos on this life, we have modify rover for motors task here. The motors on the mining machine at Satori are a lot more powerful than the ones in your rover, but you have to cut away some of the hull to make room for them, and reseal the holes to make some scrap metal. So we can do that part now, where we have the metal sheets right here. It's neat. Okay, we're driving up, and I forgot to mention, I did the wheels replacement. I put in the metal one that I pointed out. Using the tools from the workshop, you cut large sections out of each of the wheels wells of the rover, using your spare metal plates to reseal the holes after. That should leave you enough space to swap out the motors for more powerful ones from the mining machine at Satura's quarry. So we could do it, I don't know if we will, but we can. We have the option now. But since we have plenty of time, we'll be fine. Probably not gonna be fine. Okay, here we are. We just came from the other compound. We just came from the central compound. We've gotten a bunch of water, a bunch of food. We're gonna last for multiple minutes. The food isn't gonna last us the whole way, but it will follow enough. Actually, let's go into the place. I don't think I'm going to call. You know what? Maybe I will call. I don't know. Do I want to? Take a whole minute, but it might be worth it. I don't know. Either way, the fuel cells aren't worth it. So I don't know. Let's get the food that's here, and then Head on back, because now we have 10. We do have enough food for the end of the world. We're not going to change the space here. This is not worth it. Now, do we want to recall? It's going to take a minute 40 for this. I think it's going to be worth it. Let's do this. And then let's get it all done. The motors on the mining machine are a lot more powerful than the ones on your rover. They're draining power a lot faster, but offer a significant speed boost. Now, I have a question for you all. What do you think the significant means? Like, what number? 'Cause let me tell you, I thought it meant like 5 times, when it actually means... Okay, so I was thinking it would be a simpler number when I went to that cut. It's double speed. Time to read the whole message. You take your time removing the standard motors from the rover, carefully remembering what each connector links to and where each bolt goes. After doing the same to the more powerful mining machine motors, you're fairly confident in how to put them back together. Even the expanded wheel wells, the bulkier motors, only just fit in the available space. Once everything's reconnected, you check the diagnostics to see that the motors are reading 2.5 times higher power draw than before. So it uses more power driving. But it is fast. I mean, while a quick speed test indicates that they let you travel at just double the speed. Not as good of a ratio as you hoped, but not a bad trade when the supplies you can carry are so limited. Now, when it said, like, a bad trade-off, I thought it would be much worse than this. I was thinking, like, oh yeah, it was really fast, but you basically only get, like, 5 seconds. It's not. This is able to run out of power is the problem, and I did not go for the... I think it was a bad idea, now that I think about it. This is probably a bad idea now that I think about it, because I'm thinking of when I did this, when I first got the extra 2 rows, so this didn't come up. So that's an interesting problem. You know what, maybe I don't even need the water bottle. Maybe I just put the generator in. Because here we're probably not going to use the water. We might use the water. We're going to use the water. I'm kidding. But yeah, let's go on. It's only 10 seconds. We can stay for 10 seconds. We don't need to do a jump cut for 10 seconds. We'll do it for 5 though. 5 second jump cut. Okay. By this point, the cleared grounds only extend to about half the width of your rover, either side of the tracks, often forcing you to veer away from them for long stretches to bypass rocks or other obstacles, making you wonder if there might be a better route. There is one. But look, there's just a whole nother part to it. We're not done. That's the problem. We aren't done with it. Wait, no, power. The restricting thing is power right now, not time. So we need to not transfer, because this is actually bad for us. We're gonna try it again next week where we don't get that thing. Okay, so we're actually gonna install the generator into the rover. No wait, are we? No wait, shit, we're not. I forgot. But if either way, I'm trying to show this pop-up of the generator will be hardwired and can't be removed once it's installed. It takes up the entire rear compartment, so we can't get water in there either. This time we're just going no power. We're next. You know what? Fuck it. This run, we are going to try to put the generator in without any extra water and see if that helps us getting further. We'll see once we get back to the asteroid tracks. Okay, so we're now back from there. We have just exited the quarry this time. We got water, food. I messed up slightly with the water and used some small water bottles instead of the ones I could refill. So here's my materials. Let's head out and see how far we can go. Just skip through the first part though. That's going to take a while. Okay, so we're done with the first part. This is, I guess, the first part of the longer one. And we're almost done with that. And we have this much time left. So now we can follow through and get to the other side. Luckily, we do have not too much power, but we can add fuel to the generator because I went back and got the fuel cells because I realized I forgot as I was leaving. Now we can add fuel to the generator, and I'm not sure how long the fuel lasts because it's been a while. 60 seconds, and it increases at a rate of 4 per second. That is 408. No, it's 240. Nice. Not a bad amount. 240 times 3, that's 720. Notably, this does not change with the artifact that we got last episode, of where you get 25% better resources, because this isn't treated as a resource. According to some of the developers' things, they intend to have that actually be a resource at some point. So then you can also have different kinds of fuel, like some that do better than others and have to be affected. But For now it isn't, but it's fine if you just don't normally plan on using it. So now let's keep going. Okay, we are almost there past the second part of the follow tracks to aspect. But we do not have much to live. We are out of water. We can drive across the fields, but we will die before we get there. You're relieved when the tram line finally leaves the rocky terrain behind, emerging into a vast field of soil interspersed with occasional patches of grass-like plant growth. Automated machines move slowly back and forth, fertilizing the soil, planting seeds, and carefully cultivating them to give the best possible odds of growing in the harsh environment. It seems the atmosphere is only barely able to support even this basic plant life, and it needs all the help it can get. The tracks continues across the field. The drive across field. The highlands have given way to a wide open fields tended by automated machines, with the tram line cutting a path straight through them towards Astrape. We're almost there. It's only going to take more than we can handle. It's also more food than we have. So it's not like it was going to be any better. So, yeah. So now we're about to die, and bang. So we died. It's a long way from Astrape. Loading up with supplies. You may need more of a boost. Don't know. Let's try going generator. Let's try combining the generator with the higher power in the next life. I'm gonna hope I remember it this time, unlike the other one where I forgot midway through. Okay, we have now back to about to leave Astrape again. This time, the shortened message for actually doing it is, this time around, you only vaguely check each component as you remove the motors, first from your own rover and then from the mining machine. You install the large motors in your rover, rating the expected 2.5 times higher power draw and 2 times speed. This time we also have all 3 fuel cells, which we might end up using, and we have plenty of air. We have some food. I did manage the food better this time. Now I have like all 5 of my small. I have 5 water pouches, and we'll hope this is enough. I don't actually know. But you know, it will at least be fast in terms of this number staying pretty high. Let's go further. Okay, we're in the second part of following the tracks, and the power just barely. We get 4 from mobile generator and now 3.75 from driving, just barely making power while the generator runs. That is funny to see. At least I think it's funny to see. It also might give us some more info on how much we actually need fuel cells, because we might not actually need them all. And now it is time. We are now able to drive across the fields. You leave the rocky terrain behind, emerging the immense fields which surround Astrape. We have used through 1 entire fuel cell and not much gain. Oh, and this time we have less of a rough area. Now it's only a 1 times instead of a 1.5 times. So we are going to be making a bunch more power than we spend compared to before. I don't actually know where there's normally 2 times. Maybe it is from Lorion to the dam, but I forgot. Damn, how I thought before remembering that it was called dam. Makes it sound like I swore. I think that's funny. Okay, we have now able to approach Astrape. As you reach the far side of the fields, you find yourself at the edge of a city-sized paved area. In the center stands a huge facility, similar to Talos and Loron, but several times larger. It also seems to have far fewer support buildings around it, and most of them are greenhouses of varying designs. Now we can approach Astrape. The final stretch towards Astrape is fully paved, broken only by small support facilities or occasional foundations of planned buildings. This has a default 0.5 times power, which is 2.5 times as much, and a default 30 seconds base. Center. And here we are. You pull up just outside the tram station. While part of the station seems to be inside Astrape, the larger portion juts out from the otherwise flat wall next to the vehicle bay, serving as a large cargo transfer area. Both the tram station and the vehicle bay have personal airlocks, which you could use if you want to enter on foot, or you could try the vehicle airlock and drive the rover inside. Alternatively, you could go out and take a closer look at some of the support facilities. And we ran out of power. Oh no. Anyways, 300. Well, the rover probably isn't moving anymore. 7 seconds isn't enough for a jump cut, even though it probably should be. But we only have like 2 minutes of here. Let's open the vehicle bay. Though the rover is able to connect with the Astrape systems, all the responses seem garbled and nonsensical, just like the transmissions logged on the Loron computer were. Unless you can figure out what's going on and unscramble them, you won't be able to remotely open the doors. The facility clearly still has power though. Maybe if you go in through the personal airlock, you can find a way to open the vehicle airlock from inside. Maybe. Let's try it. Here, we could open the vehicle bay. Locked. This action can't be performed because this content will be added in a future update. I like how they have this because unlike when I first played an earlier version, it kind of just ended when they got to the new content. This time they border on the new content, but don't let you access it. This is a good reason. Instead of just, oh, it doesn't exist, so you don't even think about it when you try to play it in the future. It's like, oh, check here again when eventually the next update comes out. I like this idea. We can also inspect the support facilities, which I'm going to do because I don't think there will be enough time. Let's inspect support facilities. While there aren't as many support facilities here, you may be able to learn something from them. So let's do that. You don't see any of the drills you inspected at the previous facilities, likely due to the ground being soil and clay rather than sand and rock. Instead, you take a look at some greenhouses being used to grow specifically engineered plants, designed to produce large amounts of oxygen. Unlike the fields you saw being tended further out, these plants were grown in fully controlled conditions, isolated from the rest of the world, except for carefully measured exchanges of gases. Most of them seem to be doing well, but a suspicious number of them are dead or dying. Weird. I wonder why. Wait, that's still 4 minutes. That's still 4 seconds. Okay. Inspect dead greenhouse. Despite most of the greenhouses looking fairly healthy, more than a few have somehow failed. All the plants inside, little more than withered husks. Inspect it. And here we are. Picking the closest greenhouse full of dead plants, you go through its systems, looking for anything unusual. It seems like there is a massive power surge, which overloaded the control circuits. With them fried, it's only a matter of time until the plants die. What's odd is that each power connection in the main facility should have breakers on it to prevent this kind of overload from damaging the support buildings. For this to have happened, either the breaker must have failed, or it was a huge power surge. Either way, you should be extra wary of the power system once you get inside. Too bad we're not going inside. Okay, now here we have. Also look, we can enter Asteroid proper from here. If only it wasn't locked for a future update. As the personal airlock on the on the tram station cycles, you're pleased to see your suit register fresh air. It releases you into a cargo portion of the station, and you're immediately able to see why you couldn't call the tram earlier. A large container of crops seems to have gone jammed halfway onto the train, blocking the doors. If you can finish the loading process, you should be able to ride the tram back to any of the 3 Centauri compounds. So let's push it on, and only it will take a minute. Ignore the fact that I am out of water and going to die. So yeah, we're not able to complete this run. We have to take at least one more life to try it again. But then we have to take however long back it is, which is a risk. A risk I don't know if we want to take. But maybe next life, let's do more support and just try to... Yeah, reach Asteroid. Now do you continue exploring the side or double back and try to save Centenary? We're going to stay Centenary, but first, let's do for this life, let's do the water generator in the, maybe here, maybe the other place, but also stop by Luron and power it so we can look up about Strabo, because we didn't actually look it up. We didn't actually look up about Strabo. So let's do that this life. Okay, here we are. We are in Lorion. We have already gotten into the office. We are now searching for Strabo. This takes 2 minutes, but the engineers at Centenary were communicating with a facility called Strabo. Maybe you can find some more clues as to its location. We're going to try to find. And the reason I'm starting now is, if I remember correctly, this is one of the ones that shows 4 messages every half minute, or now. It looks like Strabo was one of the main quote-unquote workhouse facilities, intended to do a large part of the actual terraforming. Located somewhere south of Talos, on the equator, it was perfect for utilizing concentrated solar power. Dozens of huge mirrors reflected light to a central tower, where it was converted into power and redistributed to larger versions of the support facilities, which most of the terraforming stations have been surrounded by. Anyway, interesting. Let's do beep beep. Okay. Interestingly, Lorion still seems to be receiving regular updates from Strabo. Thanks to its large number of more advanced support facilities, Strabo was able to gather highly accurate data on the atmosphere, weather patterns, and progress of the terraforming process. Unfortunately, Lorion only receives summaries of the results of the data, things like predictions of sandstorms. But maybe you can use that to narrow down where the facility might be. Let's show more. Show more. And it will show any second now. So we're not doing a jump cut. Maybe we do a jump cut. Okay, so I guess it was only at the beginning. Luckily, since you have the combined logs from many different facilities available here, you're able to correlate the data which Strabo sent out to each of them, looking for patterns in what weather it could and couldn't predict. Eventually, you manage to extrapolate roughly where the facility is. You can start searching for it from Talos. So next time we go to Talos, we can do it. Wonderful. Let's go back to the quarry before progressing anymore. Remember, 11:19. Okay, here we are at the quarry. We're not even going to leave the tower and go explore. We're going just directly to Asteroid, see if we can go there with normal generator, normal speed. We got enough food that this will kill us before running out of food will. Oh, I think I just remembered I need food. Oh, wait. Then here, there's two ways. I can either go the normal way or I can find a faster way, which I believe the default's 2, so it goes faster long term. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just try to improve this life. You know, why not? Forgot to say, the tram tracks wind back and forth through the highlands towards them, and often block the best path, so you may be able to find a better route through your rover. Let's try it. Okay, now we have found the faster way to the highlands, but it looks weird because we have to do it again. But that's because there's actually two halves if you read the description of this. You're pretty sure you're outside Centauri's blast radius now. But the fact that you found a faster route this far only boosts your confidence. They'll be able to speed up the remaining distance. This is, actually, if it explodes, it hits the area around it, which is the first half of the trip. This is the second half of the trip. Okay, so the entire city in a significant portion of the surrounding area. Not the entire surrounding area. So if it blew up right now, we would be fine. That is why it's two segments, even though it's basically looks like as if it should be one segment. It feels bad as someone playing it, but it works. Now to jump cut to being dead because while it won't blow up for here, I did not get enough food before coming out here. I was like, oh, I need more water. I did not need more. I did forgot to get more food because I forgot about this being a possibility. I had some extra time while I recharged the rover in the other compound, so I got some water. I didn't think about us lasting long, so I didn't think of getting more food also. Welp, let's try it again, except this time I think we're just gonna go, we are gonna go generator, engine, speed through, and have it all work. Okay, while I am driving to the dam, after you leave Talos, due to Strabo, we have a new task, drive towards Strabo. With the approximate location of Strabo, it may take some time, but you should be able to locate the facility, eventually. This takes 25 minutes. I do not think it will actually take 25 minutes, because this also is still locked because it content to be added in a future date. I feel like this one just doesn't have an exact time for when it will go through, thus they just picked 25 minutes as a long time that won't matter. Like in an earlier version of it, when it didn't have a wait button and had a wait task at one specific point, the wait was a 25-minute task. You weren't expected to finish it. I don't think you could finish it, but here you can. I mean, here maybe you can. I don't know. I mean, we die after 20 minutes, so maybe we could. I don't actually know. I wonder. Now I wonder if I could right here have enough lifespan to do it. Probably not. Anyways, let's go back to as far as I physically can. A thing I realize now that I didn't realize before because I don't normally do this path, it takes a while to do it. You have to enter the control tower, take over 30 seconds to call them, like 40 seconds, and then 40 seconds to install it, and then also the 18 seconds to put them in. It's actually a long time, especially since I only have so much resources. These actually get used up pretty fast. So I think actually, unlike what I've been normally doing, I'm going to drive back to the central compound real quick and charge back up this to a little bit, but mainly get resources, get the new food. Get new food, and then I'll head out. Okay, now we're heading out, and we're doing the faster path to Astrape. At least the first half is faster path, which is base 145 instead of base 3 minutes. Thus, the base is a lot faster. Even compared to where we were, the modified on the other one was longer than the base of this one is. So now it's faster. It's faster now, and the next time we do it, we get a bonus 1.3 times speed to go through it, due to it being the first time you complete it and complete it once. So this is just much faster, even though it does take time. But also makes me wonder, can I try to finish the game now? I wonder. Time to do math based on things in Astrape. 'Cause I have I have 8 minutes of water. How much would it take not trying to go fast? It's not much difference. I'm just gonna do it the normal way. So you at the place. Okay, here we are at Astrape. We have just pulled up outside Astrape's tram station. So now we can enter the tram station. Just directly enter. And here we are. Let's push the container onto the tram. It is gonna take 56 seconds. So we're going to jump ahead. But we do have almost 5 minutes of water, which is nice. We also have about the same amount of time. We have like 5 minutes of each resource. So they're about equal. If only there's plenty of way. Okay, actually, if you put the water, are you sure? I was about to make a point. My point's wrong, so I'm not going to make that point. Skip ahead. Okay, with a bit of brute force, you're able to get the offending container loaded on the tram, clearing the way for the doors to close. Conveniently, it also allows the container to open, so you can take some of the food inside. The container's inbuilt refrigeration unit has kept it relatively fresh. We can take fresh vegetables. Let's ride the train. Now, now that it's no longer blocked by the half-loaded container, the tram should be able to carry you all the way back to Center, and do it a lot faster than your rover managed. Like, it's only going to take 240, when the entire thing maybe took that much. In fact, I think it actually maybe was. I think literally 1 or 2 runs. This is actually slower than the rover, and so it's not a lot faster, which is funny. But let's skip ahead the whole 2 minutes. But funny story, we're riding the tram. We're not doing anything. We're on the tram, so we should be able to eat vegetables as we go. Nope, we have to stop going on the tram. The entire tram stalls if you try to open the which I think is funny. And the only reason I mention that is because I don't think we're going to show this episode. Maybe we will. This activity is like the only activity that does not get faster the more you do it. The vegetables do because you're used to it. This, you sit in a vehicle and let it automatically go, so you don't actually get faster at it. Which feels bad, because then A, it never gets faster, which I would like it to be faster. And B, I can't do things while I'm in here. I can't eat the fruit. I can't grab vegetables. It feels wrong. Either way, the vegetables have a adjusted registration of 5, which means their before one, where they add 24, is 4. So they're worth 4 plus 1. Or 4 plus 25%. So now let's jump ahead the minute. Okay, and we've now the tram initially takes you to the quarry quarry compound. From here we continue onto either the central compound or the one on the plateau. So we can ride it back, take 3 minutes, take the tram to Asteroid, much faster than the rover ever could. Wrong. Take the tram to central compound, take the plateau. Let's go central. Also we're here right now, so we could change to a space shoot. We're not doing that. So no, okay. Let's go to central before we go to the plateau. Let's go to central. Let's get some water. We need some water. Let's fill the water bottle. Let's get some more resources. Why not? Like, just casually. And let's also get some vegetables. Vegetables are healthy. Let's get some more vegetables. Try to just make this number, I guess, insignificant. There we go. Now we're going to die from the explosion. Perfect. Let's go to the plateau. Take the tram to the plateau compound. It'll take 10 seconds, so we're not skipping away. 10 seconds. Look at the screen for 10 goddamn seconds. I don't know why I think that's a bit that's worth telling, but it is to me. Also, we only need 2 fuel cells. That's nice. Now, the tram swiftly carries you to the plateau, which your third compound sits atop. As you pull into the station, you see only a minimal personnel area, with most of the space being used for automated cargo transfers. Exiting the tram, you're faced with 3 doors leading to the other sections of the compound. In the log you watched, the commander ordered the artifact to be moved to the uranium vault in the storage area. So we could inspect this. We could also do this, or this, or this. Where 45 plus 45 is 130 to 45. Good enough. Let's inspect the storage area. This is where all materials, both raw and processed, are stored. So we should inspect them, or maybe just inspect all of them. Okay, what's the storage area have in store? Most of this compound seems to be dedicated to material storage with dozens of vaults, each one labeled as containing a different material, ore, metal, or alloy. From glancing at the displays as you pass each one, it seems most are quite well stocked. If you ever need to fabricate any basic components or equipment, there's definitely enough resources here. So that's nice. What about the refinery? The refinery is where raw materials are processed into more useful ones. What's in here? The refinery is where all the raw ore mined from the quarry are processed into usable metals and alloys. Only the control room is immediately accessible. You could use the maintenance hatches to access the rest of the area, but you don't see much need for it now. From the control room, you can order the automated drones to bring specific types of ore for storage for refining. That's cool. I wonder. That's a neat thing to do. I wonder if we're able to use it. Explore Forge. The Forge is responsible for making the processed materials into components, equipment, and building materials. So we go first from I'm gonna go the quarry into refinery into forge into uh, material storage, and then within the material storage we have the uranium vault. Let's finish exploring the forge. Forge. Much like the refinery, the forge area is entirely sealed behind maintenance hatches, with the exception of the control room. This is where the refined metals are shaped and combined into basic components, equipment, or building materials. Now let's inspect the uranium vault, and I might have very slightly messed up and I need to do this whole goddamn thing again. According to the logs you watched, this is where the base commander ordered the artifact to be stored in the hopes that it would limit the potential destruction. Let's inspect it. You know, what could happen? We only have 10 seconds left. I don't remember if we need to finish this task or if we get almost done. Come on, almost done. I feel weird that I'm rooting for less. Okay, so we just barely finished inspecting and this happened. I'm gonna jump to getting back to the getting back to the plateau. I'm not going to hold the goddamn thing again. Okay, so I actually am not there yet, but I just got to the place where you can get the motors. Anyways, I forgot the metal sheets. I think this recording this video is making me go insane. I think that's the only reason. Where's the pause button? Okay, also not there yet, but here's some proof. We completed this whole thing last time, and it does not have completed, but we completed the fresh vegetables, and it does have the fact that it's completed. So the fact that it doesn't count it feels bad, because now, this is a task. That takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds, also known as 150 seconds. If we're able to do it 3 times faster, that would be... Okay, well, that would be... Wait, I just did the math on the little calculator. If we divide it by 1.3 instead of multiply by 1.3, to get 115.38846, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing 115 minus that number to figure out how much time we could have saved. 34.5 seconds. We could have saved 34 seconds. Half a minute of the game could have just been saved forever. But no. Still, I'm upset. I don't know about game balance, but I'm upset. Hello, I was about to go to the plateau, and then I looked up and saw my water. And I realized I would die if I did that. And if I had to repeat this whole loop again, we could just getting like 4 or so water balls and immediately drinking all of them. Just chugging as much as we can. Did this save? Oh no, it didn't. Okay, it was just a visual glitch because it's the same name and same goal. We're able to access it from multiple points. Weird. Okay. In 5 seconds, we should be at the place we want to be. Maybe I should drink some more water. Give you more water. Just need to make sure I don't die. There you go. 2 minutes. That should be fine. Let's finish inspecting the uranium vault. We'll totally learn about what's going on about the artifact. Unsurprisingly, given the danger, the uranium vault doesn't immediately open at your request. Ignore this pop-up. It's locked, and not with a simple password, like in most of the doors you've encountered. The terminal says it can only be unlocked by the authority of Commander Tarwell, administrator of this facility. Normally, you'd need to unlock the door with a biometric scan. You may be able to hack it, but you still need a detailed record of his biometrics to work from. Maybe somewhere like a medical facility would have that sort of data. And then this shows up. Congratulations. Congratulations, it's over. It feels like as if, okay, we got past the task. We finished all the lore. It's time to finally get the artifact, and it's just not there. It's gone. Which makes this feel bad. Like, I thought I glitched it the first time I got to here. I thought I messed something up. And it was like, oh, is this a glitch about it ending early? Weird. Because I immediately did uranium instead of doing the other 3. So I was like, did it just accidentally happen early? And then looking in the comments, no, this is supposed to happen. This is what's supposed to happen. It feels weird. Obviously, this ending's gonna change as they get more updates. That's obvious. It still feels... still got thrown off. Which is why I'm like, wow, 2 seconds. I had to take 18 minutes and 32 seconds of my day. Because I wasted 2 seconds of time. Yay. Anyway, so this is the game. This is Terraformental. Uh, from the fact that this took 3 hours for this video. I mean, this was 1 hour long video, and it took 3 hours out of time, out of game just playing. Not even counting for how long that was like reading or thinking. This is not a game. It's like this is not a game like you'd play on the Switch or other games. This is a game that I think only really works if you also have a YouTube video open in the background, which is part. This game is like fun to learn. It's fun if you're like managing different resources. It's not fun in making entire worth of your time because a major complaint that a bunch of people have, but it would probably mess up the balance and turn it into just an idle game, is how every time you go through the beginning, you basically need to waste multiple minutes to get back to where you were. Like me, it takes like 10 minutes to to get through Talos, go over to the dam, get over here, and that just takes multiple minutes, and that's your real life time, which is a problem that I feel like just kind of happens with this type of game, which is unfortunate. These only get so fast; they can't go infinitely fast. There's only so fast it can be. Like once you do something 100 times, it's only 10 times as fast. So if it's 3 minute task, then going 10 times as fast is still 18 seconds, and then you have like 4 of them, and then that's over a minute of just clicking button and waiting, and then occasionally clicking another button. Especially if you make a mistake and then die right before you're gonna do it, and you have to go through that whole loop again, when it takes like 10-15 minutes real time in between. Imagine you're playing someone who doesn't play Fortnite. Imagine you're playing Fortnite, but to find a lobby it takes 15 minutes, and then you die early. Like you just mess up the zone and you die. Like that. That's how it sometimes feels. So to make sure you don't do that, you should pay attention to it. But also, it's the early part's not interesting, so you don't want to pay attention to it. This is the main flaw of this is I enjoy it. It's fun, but also that I don't recommend it if you only have like one monitor and it would be full screen like this. If you could have like YouTube in the background or like on your phone while you do it, if you can multitask while you play it, and you can pay like half attention to it, then it works. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed. I will release part 3 whenever the next update comes out. I will play through it like just for fun on my own, and then record like things that I think are different. That will be because instead of watching the whole one, because this took like 6 hours in game time. I'm not spending a whole another day for it. Thank you for coming. I'll catch you all next time. Bye.